Hi there. I have a thought that I want to share with you. It's brought great comfort to my heart. It's the story of Hagar. You know, she was thrown into circumstances beyond her control. Her maid, Sarai, the woman that she served, Abram's wife, she couldn't have a child. And actually, Hagar was Sarai's maid. And so Sarai gets this grand idea. She goes to Abram, says, look, Abram, I haven't been able to get pregnant, so I'm going to give you my maid. Go into her, and maybe she can get pregnant, and I'll have a child through her. She'll be the surrogate mother. Well, it didn't work out too well. First of all, Abraham didn't argue at all. He immediately thought it was a great idea. And Hagar gets pregnant, and when she realizes she's conceived, she copped an attitude toward Sarai, her mistress. And Sarai realizes that Hagar's acting all big now because she's pregnant, no pun intended. And Sarai treats her harshly, and Hagar runs away out into the wilderness. And she's there by this well of water. She doesn't know what she's going to do. It seems like, things have happened beyond her control. It wasn't her idea in the first place, and now all she sees is a rough life ahead of her. She's distraught. She's out there in the wilderness. She feels very alone, and suddenly an angel appears. And in Genesis 16:7, it says, now the angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, by the spring on the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, where have you come from and where are you going? She said, I'm fleeing from the presence of my mistress Sarai. The angel of the Lord said to her, return to your mistress and submit yourself under her hand. Then the angel of the Lord said to her, I will multiply your descendants exceedingly, so that they shall not be counted for multitude. And the angel goes on and tells her what the name of her child will be, gives her, guidance, and tells her about her son's future. And in verse 13 it says, then she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her, you are the God who sees. For she said, have I also seen him who sees me? Therefore the well was called Bir Laharoi. Observe, it is between Kadesh and Bered. Bir Laharoi literally means well of the living one who sees me. And there was Hagar in her distress, in her loneliness, thrown into circumstances that were beyond her power to change. She felt like the bottom had dropped out from under her. She felt like she had just nothing but a bad future ahead of her. And then God comes to that place of loneliness, to that place of isolation. And God speaks to her. God encourages her. God gives her guidance. God speaks to her about her future and the future of her son. And she's so overwhelmed. She said, God, you see me. You see me. Now, God didn't just see her physically, but he saw into her heart, and she knew it. She's saying, God, you understand me. You have compassion on me. You're going to help me. You know me. And I want to tell you, friend, he sees you. You may have been thrown into circumstances beyond your control, but he sees you, and it's not too big for God to handle. He has a future, and he has a hope for you. And if you'll get quiet before him, he will give you direction for your life. He loves you. And I want to tell you, the living one sees you. And he has a spring of water for you in your wilderness, my friend. You trust him. He knows where you're at. He knows you inside and out, and he has good things in store for you. He sees you.